Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at NECA's Godzilla figure from Godzilla 2014. The reason I'm reviewing this figure for the relaunch of this channel, despite being an older release, it's because not only is the movie celebrating its 10th anniversary, but this was my very first action figure collectible. And so my action figure collection is also 10 years old. I started my collection with this figure because I loved the movie and I wanted to own a figure of this version of Godzilla. Back then, for collectors, you had two options: NECA and Bandai's SH Monster Arts. I didn't like how inaccurate the SH Monster Arts version was. It barely resembled Godzilla from this movie. NECA, on the other hand, was not only screen accurate, but way more affordable. 10 years later, and my collection has grown a lot, but it all started with this figure. So, let's first take a look at the packaging. Godzilla came in a clamshell packaging using the standard design for the movie's merchandise from back then. At the top, we have the movie logo. Below that, we have standard promo pic of Godzilla, not the figure. At the bottom, we have the character's name. Going to the back, again we have the movie logo, the character's name, the film synopsis, and an actual picture of the figure. At the bottom, we have the legendary, Warner Brothers, and NECA logos, along with the Godzilla's 60th anniversary logo. Now, let's look at the figure. As you can see, this is Godzilla as he appears in the movie. And this is because NECA actually used 3D assets from the movie itself to make this figure. The sculpt on this figure is really nice, and you can see the details all over the skin. The shape of the spines is accurate to the movie, but they are a bit smooth and lack detail. Everywhere else in the figure, the skin texture is very nice, along the torso, the legs, the arms, and the tail. We have more detailing in the chest and the belly. The stumpy, elephant-like feet are also movie accurate. The shape of the face captures Godzilla look really well. The eyes are okay for the size, but they could be better painted. The inside of the mouth and the tongue are painted dark red. The rest of the figure is mostly charcoal black, with no visible shading to accentuate the sculpt, except for the chest and underbelly areas where we can see a little bit of brown running along. But the entire figure does have a faint glossy effect to make it appear a bit wet. Jumping to the articulation is mostly okay. We have a hinge in the jaw and the tongue can move slightly. The head is in a ball joint, so it can rotate from side to side. It can move down that far and it can go a little up. The neck is in another ball joint, so it can rotate. Not the greatest range, but it gets the job done. Shoulders are on ball joints, so the arms can go a little bit outwards and inwards, and they can rotate back and forth. Elbows are on a single joint to allow for 90 degrees movement, and the wrists are on a ball joint, so you have nice movement along the entire arm. The torso is on a ball joint that you can rotate from side to side, but it's really limited when trying to move from front to back. The thighs are also on ball joints, but you can't really go outwards that much. You do get a nice rotation kicking forward and backward. The knees are on ball joints, and they move decently front and back, and there is a swivel in there to help with posing. Same thing with the feet, ball joint and swivel, so there's nice ankle movement there. Going to the tail, it came separate in the package, and you needed to heat it up with a hair dryer or hot water to assemble it. We have a few points of articulation with ball joints in 3 of the pieces, but the rest of the tail is on a bendy wire. It is a strong bendy wire at least, and I've had no issues with it. This figure has decent articulation for the most part, and you can get some nice poses. Now, let's do some size comparisons. Here we have a couple Hiya Toys figures, Godzilla and Kong, both from Godzilla vs. Kong. You can see how much taller this Godzilla is compared to NECA's. Here we have Godzilla next to other NECA figures, the big chap from the original Alien movie and Corporal Hicks from Aliens. Here we have Godzilla between McFarlane's Jared figure from Labyrinth and Medicom Mafek's Joker from Suicide Squad. And finally, here we have 2 SH Monster Arts Godzilla figures, one from Godzilla vs. Violante and another one from Godzilla -1. Overall, this is a great figure, especially considering the price. This was the beginning of NECA's shortly-lived Godzilla line, But it was also the beginning of my action figure collection journey, and for that, it will always have a place of honor in my collection. But soon, it will be time for an upgrade, because Hiya Toys is continuing their Monsterverse dominance, covering every movie in the franchise, and they have a Godzilla 2014 figure coming out before the end of the year. From the pictures, it looks really good, as has become usual for them, and I'm excited to get it, and to have it side by side with NECA's original. I hope you enjoyed this retro review. I'm going to be reviewing new as well as older figures in my collection, and I'll also cover movies and more geek stuff. If you're interested, please subscribe below, and also let me know what do you think of this figure. Do you have it? Did you get the SH Monster Art version? Which is your favorite? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.